Hey guys, so today I want to talk, want to continue working on the project we have here. And one thing I always struggled with was the debugging thing, right? So that means debugging the software with the Visual Studio Code launch configurations. Um, Normally, if you have just a simple Python project, that's not a problem. But if you have Poetry installed and you're using something like a task file, something like this, I had this task run, which then executes something within the Poetry virtual environment with the Poetry console too. So this required me to just simply use task install, and you can now no longer can run and debug it from Visual Studio Code. So every debug breaking point and stuff like that did not work. So today I want to fix this, and it's just me researching some stuff, and this is also like again a chill stream. So if you have something which is bothering you, some questions or so, just push a comment here, and I think I will dedicate some time to it. Now, first, what's important to know, I think, is that the way the run configuration is done in Visual Studio Code is with this launch.json. And in this, you see that if you're using a default one, you have something like this configuration, then you have a name, a type, request, a program, and a console, which is automatically selected. So in an article I found on Stack Overflow, it was suggested that you change this in order to be able to run the debugging from Poetry. Okay. Now, let's see how this works. First of all, I think the name can be there. The type Python should be Python. Then the request would be launch. That's correct. Then some error here. Okay, so the information is deprecated on Stack Overflow. So that means we can now use debug.py to use this. Request Python. Now, the program. I'm not sure if the program is correct now. It told me to use current working directory. And here we should use workspace folder, correct? And then there's no console, but I think we can leave that here. Then there should be a module, which should be our, I think, HyperWorks tools. Because this is the project. This would be the project folder. Yeah, this one. Now, so the current working directory, CWD, points to your workspace folder, which should be the parent directory of the project. You should then be able to run successfully the run and debug module of Visual Studio Code. Okay, let's see if that works. As for Poetry, try modifying your PyProject toml. So the PyProject toml, then there should be something like a tool Poetry scripts. So that's not in there right now. Yes, correct. Yes, so I'm not sure if that works. It's not the same thing as I have on Stack Overflow. There it tells me to run it. But is there a run there? Run is the entry point in the my project. Okay, let's see for our entry point. So we have the SPC folders folder, SPC tools, SPC forces tools folder. Then we have the MPC tool, and I think that would be our input. There's no method here, but just a file. So thinking again about it, it would be, there's no scripts in here. It would be, yeah, let's maybe just use that. See how it goes. Now, if it worked correctly, Oh, it's the main, yes, correct. If it worked correctly, I should now be able to do something like pressing F5 here. Hopefully, no, it does not work. I saved this, yeah. Maybe this is wrong here. Okay, this did not work. Okay, let's try something different. So there should be a command like poetry debug info. And this should get us a executable path. Okay, wait a second. I will just copy something. Let's not just go completely bonkers here. So let's use the Python for now. I'm not sure if the debug py was the problem. Then, I mean, the executable would be this one, right? So would it be able to get something like something like this? Not sure if that works, but let's see. Now that should be the module name. Yeah. Maybe I should add in the arguments that I wanted to use it as something like this. Let's skip that for now. Let's try it again. So if I'm running that now. Ah, it's invalid. Yeah, maybe because it's now it's that one, and maybe that's the problem. Okay. Try that again. Couldn't spawn debugger. Cannot find the file. Okay. That maybe means that this is a problem here. Let's try again. No module name TypeWorks tools. Well, is that the module name? So, from my understanding, it should be the parent directory. There's no module named HyperWorks tools. Is there maybe something in the TOML which tells us what the module is called? Maybe I have to use this one, but this would be doesn't make any sense. So let's wait a minute. So HyperWorks tools is the parent directory where also the TOML file is in. And this should be the module, the top module. What does... No, that cannot be. Let's see what the GitHub comes up with. Poetry, really? Okay, so this does not make any sense. It just runs poetry. What does the task file say? Well, it calls it like this. Well, it's worth a shot. Yeah, so SBC forces tools is a package and cannot be directly executed. So that makes sense. So I would have expected that. Let's use the name out of the TOML as the next option. No module named. Can I get a list of modules? Why does it keeping like so there's a bunch of different options, to be honest. So we can still have another go on the module. But wait a second. Maybe if it's let's just see what we do here, right? So poetry run Python. Could that be a module? I mean, that's a bit of a cheating here, but if it works, I'm totally fine with it. So if I just have it something like this. Well, oh. No module named. Yeah, I mean, that was a bit desperate. Maybe... I don't think this will work either, but... No module named. That's also stupid. Oh man, that's also stupid. I think I have to look deeper into it. Why do we call it like this? Wait a second, I have to check that once more. I think this is it. So the module name, I think we should take this one. No. Oh, come on. What's the problem here? Okay, so I'm just thinking a lot. I'm trying different things. So to be honest, I think this should be the SPC forces underscore tools. Right. So this should be this. And in the TOML file, this should be HyperWorks tools. Because that's a top level folder. Maybe also write it with capital. Not sure why I'm doing this. Does this work now? But this does not work. Why the hell does this not work? I'm in the correct parent folder. There's no typo in it. HyperWorks tools is referenced here. Oh man. Tough to do it today. So the post did not really help me. A valid module and a method name. So as I see it, this should be a completely arbitrary name. So we can, how should we name that? Let's just call it hook. And then I think we should have HyperWorks tools dots. Now this then goes to here, SPC forces tools. Then this goes to MPC underscore tools. And then there's the main method. But I think this will still not work. Oh. But still it has this completely stupid no module named HyperWorks tools. Could that be that it's because of that stupid init file? So if I copy that up also in this. Oh, fuck. No. Man, that's so frustrating. Why is that not working? This is the HyperWorks tools top folder. And in this folder I have my Pi project. So Maybe I'm just completely off because I'm in the wrong terminal. I'm not sure if that's a problem. Why am I in the base? That makes no sense. If I'm selecting the interpreter, I would like to have the venv, right? So if I create a terminal, I should be in the venv. No. Do I have to deactivate this? Deactivate. That doesn't make anything different. Okay, this is now a bit different. Still has this problem. And that doesn't make any sense, to be honest. So forget about this file. Delete this one. So the launch JSON seems to be not working. Let's go through there again. So I have another post open up now and see what I have here. So the first thing is that I have to change the tool. Second. No. It's PyProject Tomo. Yeah. Now this is all crazy. Let's call that my script. And okay, this sounds right to me. So this is a package main, and then there's a main method, but no, that doesn't make any sense. There should be npc underscore tools, and then the main, right? I hope so. We have inits here, so that should not be a problem. It should be detected. Now, when I have it like this, maybe I have to do a poetry update again. Not sure. Let's try that. There shouldn't be anything new to install. Huh. Okay, whatever. A new log file was generated. Now let's try to do a poetry run my script. If this works. So this has nothing to do with the launch JSON. Okay, now this is a good thing. Now let's just quickly skip the main if this is the problem. Has no attribute main, not enough values to unpack. What? Alright, my script is an entry point defined in PyProject Tomo, but it's not installed as a script. You may want to improper sysarg null. The support to run uninstalled scripts will be removed in future releases. Okay, this poetry install would get rid of it, but this is not a problem, I think. So the npc tools has no main. Well, I would be totally fine with it if I just have. Not sure if should there be a main in there. Huh. Let's quickly do that poetry install and see if that changes anything. Bad script. Script needs to specify a function within a... Yeah. Yeah, I mean... Yes. Okay, so this changes something. But I still think this will not work. Has no attribute main. Yeah, so basically what it asks me now to do is change this completely and do a main method. Let's just do it and see how it goes. Something like this. So we have this main, this will execute all the code we have in here, and we still can execute it by ourselves, because we have this if name equals main, then we execute the main method. Let's see. Okay, so this worked. So some progress. We still don't figure out how we should incorporate that now with a launch JSON. So this is now still a bit unclear. So if we would have a launch JSON, which we have, I'm still worried about this module thing. Huh. I'm still so confused to be honest. I'm still so confused. Okay, let's go through there once more. So name is clear. Type debug py should be clear as well. Request launch is also good. Then we have a Python executable, which points to the virtual environment. Python executable, that's all good. But then the module, that's now the big question. Cannot figure that out. So let's try a bit. At least we had made some progress with the scripts. So I would assume that something of that could be used as an entry point, right? Hopefully. So if I would just use this my script in the launch JSON as, but actually I'm not sure if this is what I would want to. Yeah, not sure. But let's just see if this would work. But let's get rid of this Python thing here. So name type request. Current working directory is clear. Then we have the args and the console can be there for, yeah. Okay, now let's see if this changes anything differently. So if I just press F5 here, no module named MyScript. So I'm still missing the point where we have the module. So if this should be the module, right? So actually the problem is that this MyScript thing didn't even do anything. Yeah, so this was just, yeah, additional things to use the poetry installation. Okay, all right, that's okay. Now let's see if I can get it to work with SPC forces underscore tools. Because this should be the module name. Ah, sorry. Going back here, pressing F5. So, is a package and cannot be directly executed. Is it because of that init here? Yeah, then screw that init. Let's see if it's now not a package anymore. No. That doesn't make any sense. Why is it not a module name? If I do if I do something like a poetry install, then this will take me and say this is now installed. Current project. Is this the module? I really am not sure. So this would be the same thing but with a hyphen instead of an underscore. No. Man. Alright, Python. So in Python, modules are simply files with the Py extension containing Python code that can be imported inside another Python module's operating program. It's not really the folder. But to be honest, I'm still struggling with that. So an empty init file tells Python that the folder is a package. This gets your import references working. You could also put Python code into whatever. The code gets executed if someone will import that. It's not typically needed. Yeah. That's so stupid, man. Is it that I have to reinstall it again? But I did that already with the missing. Or should I do something like a poetry update first? Then a poetry install, and then try again with the launch JSON. No, does not work. Does it now even work at all? Yeah, it still works. So the task run is completely valid. And I'm still confused by task run. So poetry run Python module, and then isn't that a module? Maybe I will just paste that in here. Huh? What about this? Ah, okay. Man, that's stupid. Okay. But this now only works for this main method, right? It does not work for anything other than this main method. So if I would like to, for example, have a different tool, for example, spc tools.py, right? If I have now a print hello here, cannot write anymore. All right, if I have a print hello in here, will this be executable by my pressing F5? I don't think so. No. It will just because the run configuration. The run configuration tells me to run exactly this module. And this module is a file, basically. So I would have to change it here. But I think that's okay. So summarizing this, what did we now do? And I think I will leave it like this. By the way, it's completely in the wrong branch, but I'm not really too much taking this into account. Why is this being deleted? Doesn't change a thing, right? Hopefully. So let's just keep it. If I'm now trying again to run this, still works. Yeah. Good, good, good. So the SPC tools is not really important right now, so delete it. We have this test file where we have to do something. Then we have rearranged this one. Is this needed? I think it's a nice touch to have it as a MyScript in the Talma file. So yeah, we can leave that here. And the poetry log file. I'm not sure why the hell it changed the version of the poetry. Did I update poetry or somehow? I'm not sure. Maybe because of the yeah, maybe let's maybe revert that. Poetry update. Because normally I'm using the base thing here and not the virtual, not from the terminal, the virtual environment, but yeah, seems to be the same thing. Poetry install. Well, let's just quickly delete this thing. The poetry log file. Alright, and let's just update it again to write the poetry log file once and for all. So the log file is written, and we still have this 183. Yeah, alright, whatever. That's okay. Then I will just do this as launch config changes in order to be able to debug. All right, let's commit that. And then let's continue working on it. So basically what I wanted to do is, show command output. What is the problem? Missing function. The linting got me. The linting got me. So MPC tools, I changed that there is a main method and I should enter something as a... Is there a quick way to have this open? Yeah. I should have a little method description. All right, like this. Now let's try again. Still something not working. What's the problem? Seems that testing failed. Okay, let's see about this. Task test. Yeah. For me, this seems to work. Why doesn't it work for when committing? Okay, that seems strange. Okay, let's see in the pre-commit config. So the task testing here should run something like this. And let's run that manually. This is correct? What the hell? This works, but it does not work. What? It does not work when committing? And this change should be something with here? Maybe because of that one. Yeah? Let's try so. Because there's an empty test MPC file and I should really not commit it, but no, doesn't work either. Okay, let's see, PyTest exit code 5. Let's see what this is. PyTest exit code 5. No tests were collected. If you would like to customize the exit code And so, what? Okay, somewhat with what we changed here made it so that we cannot collect tests anymore. But if I just do it like this, no tests ran. Okay, that makes sense. Not a problem. Yeah, this has to be something with the stupid module. But we did not delete anything with the inits, right? So this should be still in place here. And we have tests here. Ah, that's so stupid. So the task test does work, right? And this executes exactly poetry run PyTest. And then we have something with coverage and whatever. And if we go into the pre-commit config file, we have something like this. We have the module name. So this should work. And the poetry run. Yeah, what? How can we run this directly? I think there is an option. Let me see. There's an option here. The pre-commit could also be, I think, triggered manually. Something like this. Poetry run pre-commit all files. Maybe this gets us some information why this is not working. So linting works, formatting works, and testing does not work because it cannot Okay, now let's see why this is the case. Pre-commit PyTest does not collect tests. So pre-commit by default passes the changed files as arguments. If you're changing non-test files, then PyTest will be invoked as PyTest non-test file Python and will discover 0 tests and exit with code 5. Yeah, okay, and then? Personally, I wouldn't suggest running tests as part of a commit stage, as they're often slightly too slow. That said, if you want to make this work, you can use pass file name false and always run true. Here's an example. Okay, let's just add this. Let's see if this now works. That's interesting. I learned something new today, yeah. Okay, so this worked. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so this is done now. Alright, now I think this should not be a problem in the future anymore. Now we can continue to work on our tests. So basically what is still missing if I'm looking at the HTML coverage, it's not that much, I think. So we have 87% on the models reader, and what's missing there is the read lines, but I think we can safely assume that this can be left and be unchecked. And the MPC forces reader is not. The MPC forces reader is the most critical thing I would say, which should be checked. So if I'm here and say MPC forces reader, we should now create a new file here called test_MPC forces reader.py. Now, we for sure have to import unit test. Then we have, yeah, then we have the testing class. What version did I choose to do? So test is at the beginning. Okay, so test. All right, test get node to forces. Okay, let's see what this does. So first of all, where's the initialization? So there's the MPC forces reader with the MPC file path. So the file path is a dummy file. And this makes us, I would say, a bit cautious. Because if this is a dummy file and we have a read lines argument, this will fail because the path is not there, right? So that doesn't make any sense. Dummy path, whatever. So we have to mock something. There was this with the add notation, with the patch. And we have the mock read lines here as a method. Then we should specify yeah, we should specify like a full, more or less full file content. But the file content is the array which consists of lines with strings. And I think the new line characters are stripped. So this is what we would like to do. So can we just have the mock read lines return value? Yeah, let's just maybe see what it comes up with and work with that. But if why is it so? Let's also import the patch. Do I have to do this? No. No. Sorry, that's certainly wrong here. Here. Yeah, this is all bollocks here, so this should be different. Let's see in the data what a typical MPC forces file looks like. So if I just open one. So I will just copy some lines here. So I think it's important that we have the line with the column names correct. So this is one line which is really important. The other lines are not that much of an importance. Then we should have something like the next line, because I think it's also important that it can go over here and just not start with data. It should be the same thing. And then it should look something like this. And we have to take care that we don't forget the new line characters. So for each line, at the end of the line, there should be a new line character, because the read lines method will strip away the new lines, I think. No, the new lines, it will get stripped away at some point in the method, and if I don't have the new line characters here, then it's failing. Now, what should we now choose to do here? Let's use ID1, and then let's maybe use something which is right, something like this. One, two, three, four, five. Right. Okay, and let's also do something about this. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Let's use an ID2. So what are those exactly? Those are nodes, right? So, and then we have forces in X, Y, and set direction. But it's also important that we would have something with a moment, right? So this is an exact line. So this line does occur, but it might be that we have something like so with another one. And maybe something with so until we have the new line character, then 2 spaces, and then exactly like this. Yeah. And now nodes to forces should have something like, yeah, let's let GitHub Copilot check it figure that out. So -1, 1, 1, 1, that's correct. And here's the 0 and here's the 1. So that should be it. Let's see if that works. I cannot press F5, but yeah. Let's do the task test. So I still think there should be some way of having also that F5 on the test files. I mean, that's just so frustrating that it's not working. But yeah, maybe I figured it out later. Now, what's the problem? It doesn't have the attribute read lines, and there was something. There was something about this being a private method, and I think we had to do it like this. But let's check. There should be an underscore here. Okay, let's try. Different problem now. I think we have to patch another method. So let's see. What we are checking here is the get nodes to force, and this has nothing as an input variable, but now runs through here. And I suspect that it will at some point get something which is nodes to whatever. Let's see. The problem is get nodes to forces, and then okay, no, it's not a good thing. I think the return value is still not what we wanted, is it? Let's check on the other method. How did we do it there? So we had the mocking method and we had the return value. And then we had something like this, and I think this is really important to have it. Not sure, I think this was a workaround? Not sure. But it seems to me that the MPC reader should have assigned the file content that the return value is the file content here. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So now the index error list index out of range. While not self file content I starts with whatever. Is it that we have to have an empty line here? I'm not sure why this is having an index out of range. If x force inline, then I have I plus equals 2. So +1 would be here, +2 would be here. Now the question is, it's now taking this line and stripping it. So that means spaces will get removed. I'm not sure even if that's a good thing. And then while if it's not starting and the file content is not an empty line. So we are assuming that we end up with an empty line. It is a case in the test file. but can we assure that it is always the case? At least the test data didn't show it, and that was the problem now. Let's just leave it as it is, and I think this will not work. Okay, so that should be it. Okay. Now let's see, how are we doing in the coverage report now? I have to navigate again to the coverage report. No, we're doing pretty good now. The MPC Forces reader has already 91%, and the only things we did not check is a simple print statement. A simple print statement here. I think that's okay. And read lines method. Yeah, so I think that's okay. And now if we look at the index, we are now pretty sure that we have all those things available. What the hell do we have here? 2 times the same thing. Yeah, not sure why this is, but that's the only thing, and that's the main method. I don't think we have to check that normally because there's not too much logic in there. Well, the right summary method could be checked. But for now, I would say we'll leave it as it is. Yeah, let's leave it like it is. So basically now we're pretty good at testing, I think. Yeah, so I will leave it at this stage for the testing now and consider some other topics to be more important. Now, can finish that and also commit this thing. So actually this MPC for this is just an empty, so let's just discard this one. I mean, if there could be an easy test, to be honest. There could be an easy test saying that we just make something like running the main method one time through it, but that's not so good, I think, because just imagine that being then on a different computer, it would be requiring the test files to be there. It would require files to be there, so that's bad thing. So let's delete that. So MPC forces reader test. Let's commit this. And then also sync it. Let's see if we have linting problems or test problems. No. Alright, that's good. That's good. Okay, now checking again on the GitHub. What would be the next things to do? Personally, I would like to do something about I would do something about the output. I think the output is awful right now. And I would like to include some simple metrics like the number of slave nodes. And also maybe the reaction force on the main node, on the master node. So maybe that's a good thing to do. But right now I would say it would be time for me to also call it a day. But let's maybe just do some quick, simple cleanup here. So we have a branch, but we don't have a pull request right now. So let's create this. So this closes. Cannot put myself in there. Yeah, I cannot review my own pull request, so okay. I always have to think about this Obama meme where he puts a medal around his own neck. Yeah, it pretty much feels like that. Yeah, so basically we could go through all there to once again, but to be honest, I don't bother to right now. Maybe later, but for now, this will be just merged. So we can delete the branch, so that makes sense. Now the issues, let's take a one at them. Let's take a look at that. Performance issues, that could be a real thing in the future. Bolted connections, grid point forces. Yeah, we looked into it. But I think it's not a thing to consider ourselves right now. Wait a second. I still should be able to also see the chat. If there's anything today. Quiet today. It's quiet today. Yeah. So I think we looked at the grid point forces. So basically you get all the info there, but it's a big file. So yeah, I'm not sure if this makes sense. I would postpone that until later, because I think in the future, because of performance issues, we should switch to the H5 file format. And if we do that, I think it would be also it would be also a good idea to look again at the grid point forces file, because then we sure cannot we are sure that we did not miss any nodes here. So that could be a good thing in the future, but for now I would close that. It's not really relevant today. And also in the near future, I don't think it is. So I will just write a short comment here, looked into it. It's a great file, but not of interest right now. Maybe later with the H5 format once we have a reader for it. All right, close. And yeah, so this is off from the list right now. But now I think what's missing here as an issue is something about the output format. So I would say will create an issue about changing the output file to have more relevant data. So relevant data. What should we include here? So I think number of slave nodes per SPC, per MPC. Then definitely the reaction on the master node. What else should we have here? Maybe like an overview of the components. I'm not sure. So I'm not so sure about this. Let's stay with that for now. Location of the master node. Or general, the location of it. That also brings me to the idea of having a TCL script for HyperMesh to automatically some way draw like the reaction forces into HyperMesh itself for post-processing reasons. But let's start small. Let's start with those information, and those should be included, right? So this would be an enhancement. I think that's okay. So submit this new issue, and I think this will be the next issue we will be working with. So we create a branch for it. So the branch will also get its data from the source branch of development, which we just merged our latest code in it. So create that one. Now I go back to my Visual Studio Code, and first of all fetch the new data from above, then change the branch to be then hopefully something different here, because that's here origin 13, changing the output file, have more relevant data. All right, so let's just fetch that, and you can see now the branch here selected is the 13, issue 13. And yeah, so this is our repository graph until now, right? So this is can also where is the graph? Git graph. Yeah, here you can see that was currently on the way. So we started our little journey here, and then we did the issues, and now we have some proper testing in it, and now we can, yeah, do some more work here in the 13. But as excited I would be to do this right away, I should go to sleep now, I think. Yeah. So thanks for watching, thanks for contributing, and yeah, if you have any questions, likes, comments, what you would want to see in future updates and stuff like that, yeah, you can just leave a comment below here. So today's episode was a bit struggling with the launch JSON, so that took us quite a while. But we now have it. So maybe as a quick summary, because maybe then I think that's a better way of watching this video, because I think 70 or 80% of the live stream is just me seeing me struggling with things which I cannot do right now, and learning me and overcome it. If we would have more, I would say more chats and more interaction or something like this, I think it would divert from that. But if I would leave, as for now, I just leave the live streams as they are. And I'm not sure if that's the best way to go with it. But just that I maybe can point out viewers which are interested in the topics, but would not want to watch me struggle on 1 hour to get a launch JSON. And maybe just point out the very important, or the important stuff at the end of the live stream, so I can post a comment below the video and say, hey guys, if you would want to have a short list of the points we did here, go to this timestamp, and then you have it. And I think this is what I do now. So quickly going through what we did today. So we created the launch JSON. Basically what the problem was is, or what the problem still is that Visual Studio Code cannot really be used with Poetry, and at least for this instance, with Poetry and the debug functionality. So I would like to do a debug. For example, I have this main method, like the MPC tools. And for example, I would like to see what exactly is happening here. So I put a pointer here, so breakpoint. And if I just now press F5, then it will actually go there, and I can jump now in or step over. That was not jump in, step into, jump over. I can see now and look at the different results. I can do proper debugging, and that was not possible. What had to be done for this was to create this launch JSON, and it will always just execute the main method. That has to be set. It is not capable of running then different classes. I'm still not sure why this is, and if there's a workaround. For sure, I think there is a workaround to do this. Maybe there's something like a simple solution, but I should not divert into doing stuff like that. Something like a file name or so, I'm not sure. There's nothing like this. File, base name, maybe file. If that's working now, that would be really great. It should be done with $1. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's try that. But this is the only thing I will try now, and then continue with the summary. No, it does not work. Okay, so forget about this. I will have to do some more stuff into the future. Yeah, but basically that's it. So I would like to have something which I could, for example, also execute this file with a F5 and then debug it. But this is not possible right now. So what I would have to do is just change the module here to pointing at the file I want to debug, and then it would work, hopefully. Now, that being said, this is one thing I did, or yeah, we did in the past. Then also in the TOML file, I changed something like here, that we could, for example, have a script where we have this thing here, and this is just a placeholder which we could run like this: Poetry run my script. To be honest, I think this is a cheap task file replacement, which does not even come close to the functionality of task file. So it's not that important. I think we can just leave it and forget about it. But maybe it will come handy into the future where we can maybe extend functionality. Then what we did too was do the models reader check, where we also had, not the models reader, sorry, the MPC forces reader check, but we just tested one method, and this method was the get nodes to forces. We patched the return value, or we patched or we mocked, to be precise, we mocked the function readLines and patched their this return value in. We set this return value to the file content, and then we could do the proper testing, so that it actually got us the results we were expecting, both for a case where we have a line where there's nothing coming afterwards, and also with an empty cell here. So remember the block-sized input format, we definitely made use for that one. Now, that's what we did, and then we just simply committed that. We had our little struggle with the commit, the pre-commit. It failed us at testing and said system error exit code 5, which means that no tests were found. But funny enough, the task test always worked, and it collected the test correctly. It turned out that the problem is that if you did not change any test file, it will not run the tests, because it has nothing to commit, which is concerning tests, which is another good thing. Then we read about in the internet about maybe not to do the testing in the pre-commit, but we chose now to do the workaround, which has two different flags here: always run true and pass file names false. I'm not sure why this is, but this solved it. So now if I'm committing something, even if I have not changed anything on the testing, it will then correctly execute the tests, and if it does not run successfully, it will complain and stop the commit procedure, which is what this function should do. Then what the last thing is, what we did then was to create another branch for changing the output file to have more relevant data. So if we just look at our current output file, that is data output text is something like this. So we have something about like a header, we have a date, we have an input file, we have an input MPC forces file, and then we have some widgets, and the widget ID 1 has property 2 and 1. To be honest, that doesn't seem that it makes much sense, I think. Not sure if this is a problem or if this is basically correct. I'm not sure, so we have to test that maybe once more. But yeah, so this is now currently the thing, and this is not good. So there's no really information about the widget element, and there's no location, there's no master node ID, there's no master ID coordinates, there's nothing about the number of slave nodes. So there's a lot missing here, and I wanted to extend the functionality here a bit and just put more information in here that it is somewhat useful. This can be then a basis for later on also creating a TCR script to export those information back into Hypermesh and show the forces there. Yeah, many things to be done. All right, but that should be it for today. So if there's no more questions from your side, I will close the live stream and maybe cut also the live stream to just containing this summarizing part at the end, because all the other things I would say it's not that much of an interesting content. All right, thank you very much for being here, and yeah, see you around. Have a good night, good day, whatever it is for you, and yeah, thank you.